My name's Grahamom Dunning. I'm a musician and artist and music producer. I enjoy making kind of hands-on musical instruments and then performing with them, and working with mechanical music and also with electronic music. My work is deliberately quite visual, so some of it is designed to be more visually interesting and draw attention. The way that this system works is because it's this tower, which the idea came from another turntable duo called Vinyl Terror and Horror, who do a similar thing with more abstract music. Because it's like a single cycle each time produces a rhythm, it means I don't have to just play locked groove records, for example. I can use other ways of triggering rhythms and rhythm patterns by modifying different records. So the first ones that I would make, it's a normal record just with some plastic over maybe half of the record or 3/4, so that then when it plays you just get a small section of the record which makes sound, and that will kind of loop each time, and it will play. You can force it to play a new rhythm, but it uses part of what's on the record already. And so because of the tower and it all turns together, I can make different ways of creating sound using that rotation. So some of them, it will be like a wooden disc with holes in it, and I can put little pegs in the holes so they kind of spin round as the tower turns. I can then use that to like play a drum each time as it turns round, or they might trigger different drum triggers and things like that as well. We both have our individual projects where we use a turntable to make dance music in an unconventional way. So my system I've been calling mechanical techno, and in that I use a single turntable and some modified records and kind of stack them up in a layer so they all turn together at the same time. And various different records serve different functions. So some of them play samples from the existing vinyl. Some of them trigger different synths and acoustic percussion in different ways. We both perform individually as well, so this is only our second performance yesterday. So we have these two different projects where we kind of build electronic music by using content from other records, and kind of it's halfway between collage and composition. We each kind of use the same approach that we would take to a solo performance, but because we're both running from a turntable, it means we can mix together as well. So for most of the set we're both playing at the same time, but there are certain parts where only one of us is playing and the other one is kind of preparing the next set of sounds which will come in. So the Mechanical Techno project came out of experimentation, really, and both in my workshop and in various, like in my studio and in different workshops that I've done with other people. That kind of playfulness and experimentation is an important part of my practice, so I wanted to be able to share some of that with the participants in the workshop. So the idea is that they'll make two different types of record. So the first one, like I described, which plays a sample from the record, and it's quite interesting with that because you can force a new rhythm, but you will still hear the sound which is there. So the choice of which record you use is important then because it makes a sample as well. And it doesn't have to be, you know, like you can do anything to a record and make it play basically. So there's also the option to make scratches in the record or to even smash records up and stick the pieces together, and you can kind of make these sound collages, and that will work with the mechanical techno system as well. Hopefully it's quite fun and surprising, and I think what I like about this making music with the system is that it's not always predictable what it will sound like, and sometimes you can just do something at random and it can make something quite interesting. The most important thing that I used to teach on that course is that you can just experiment and try anything and see what happens, and also that really, like, the history of recorded music is lots of the innovations come from people doing things wrong on purpose. So there's no right way and no wrong way to do most things, and the best way to discover new things is to just try something and see what happens. I would advise against people spending lots of money on expensive analog synths and stuff like that, because you can just get a cheap old record player and some rubbish records that nobody wants and experiment with what can happen with that. And then, yeah, maybe later you might want to buy a sound recorder, or, you know, there's still a lot you can do with kind of cheap things and not have to spend too much on equipment to begin with, I think.